Phil Egan, good morning.
How are you doing, lads?
Chelsea, I told everybody to get on the Tuchel bandwagon about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and Jesus, I had no idea they were going to be this clinical, intelligent. Like with that playing pool, maybe we have some hope that it's not going to be Manchester City's world, a la Celtic or Rangers or Juventus for the next 10 seasons. That maybe Chelsea will be able to stop them next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who would have thought that spending loads of money on really good players would give you a really good squad? But it turns out Thomas Tuchel knows what he's doing. They look a lot more organised than they did under Frank Lampard. Still, they're not a great watch at the moment. He's made them obviously a lot harder to beat. They haven't conceded a goal at Stamford Bridge in the league. So that's 5 home games, 5 clean sheets. First manager to do that in his first 5 Premier League games in the Premier League era anyway. But now it's a case of how can he get the best out of them going forward. So obviously tried Timo Werner and Kai Havertz basically as a front two at times last night, and Havertz was very good. Timo Werner, again, got himself into positions but just couldn't put the ball away. Most of the chances he got fell to him on his left foot and he just seemed to snatch at them. But people would say the fact that he keeps getting into those positions, eventually the goals will come. And think about it, this season obviously has been played behind closed doors. By the time the fans come back in, Timo Werner might have got a scoring touch back, and Chelsea fans will have never witnessed the Timo Werner, the misfiring Timo Werner. They'll be back going, this Timo Werner lad's unbelievable. He's a goal machine. And Kai Havertz would fall into that category as well, where they'll see the best of Kai Havertz. Obviously, he's had a few injuries.
He COVID.
Positive.
Yeah.
He COVID as well. But
Owen was making the point that he had a really bad version of COVID.
Yeah. It obviously, look, I'm fortunate enough I haven't tested positive for COVID, but certain people obviously get it more extremely than others. So, you know, a lot of people think just because they're elite athletes that they just get a few sniffles and that's it. But I know, for example, Jack Byrne talked about the effects that it had on him as well. So, yeah, it can affect different players in different ways. And there's no doubt that Kai Havertz is a very classy footballer. I certainly enjoy the way he dribbles the ball. Always just kind of feathers it with the outside of his left boot. And yeah, he just seemed to be really on song last night. And as one of the papers, I know when you go through them, one of the headlines is Kai's the limit. And you would imagine we have a lot of good stuff to see out of Kai Havertz and Timo Werner in particular as well.
Yeah, add in Pulisic, Mason Mount and a few others, and they've got one of the best collections of young players in world football at the moment. But more importantly, they have a grown-up in the room who is leading them forward, who is tactically astute, who understands exactly what he needs to do to win these games. And I would be surprised if Tuchel is not successful at Chelsea, and like very successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, he has a really talented squad, and obviously one of the first things he did when he came back in was he reverted back to the 3. Look, it was a formation that was so successful for Conte. Obviously, Sarri had played it as well, Lampard had played it as well at times, but Tuchel's gone in and just stuck to it, and it's favoured the likes of Marcos Alonso, who started last night as well. You know, he has options in midfield. He can obviously play N'Golo Kante for certain games. He left him on the bench. He obviously came on, but Jorginho and Kovacic, I'm a big fan of Kovacic. I think he's a very good player, and he falls into that category of, if he's so good, why did he leave Real Madrid? People think that if you are sold by Real Madrid, there must be something wrong with you. Not the case. Obviously, if you've ended up at Real Madrid, you're a very good player. So it doesn't obviously work out for it. Not everyone can play for Real Madrid or stay in the team. So, yeah, he's a really talented player. And just not conceding goals. I said, now it's a case of trying to make them more effective and clinical in the final third, but that will come. That was always going to be Lampard's problem as well at the start of the season. This is something that I remember Jurgen Klopp said about signing all these attacking players for Lampard, that he has to be able to knit them all into the team, and he couldn't do it. And Tuchel is still going to take a bit of time to do that. But yeah, he's spoken about it as well. He's like, we've handed Manchester City this league. Everyone has given City too easy a ride this season.
See, so next season, that's a really good thing for him to say, because he didn't do that.
Absolutely.
Since he's got there, there's been no handing of anything to anybody apart from their asses to the teams that he's been beating.